Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's webcast, Capitol Petroleum Group's 30-Day Fuel Logistics Implementation Key Lessons, hosted by Convenience Store News and sponsored by Titan Cloud. I'm Melissa Kress, Executive Editor of Convenience Store News, and I'll be your host today. We're going to get started in a few minutes, but first I'd like to cover a few housekeeping items. So the materials in today's webcast have been reviewed by our editorial staff. However, the views of the speakers and their organizations are their own and do not necessarily reflect those of Convenience Store News or its publisher, Ensemble IQ. One of our goals today is to make this session as interactive as possible. You can use the Q&A function on the left side of your screen below the presenters' headshots to ask questions throughout the webinar. I'll hold these questions until the end and ask them on your behalf. Your identity will remain confidential to the audience. If we don't have time to answer all the questions, we will follow up with you after the session concludes via email. You can also use the section if you have any technical questions about the webinar itself, and you will get a direct reply from our webinar producer. At the end of the event, we'll have a webcast evaluation survey. We encourage you to provide feedback using this feature. And if you wish to share the webcast or share it with your colleagues, review it or share it, a replay will be available within 2 hours for many platforms. So now let's get on to the presentation. Capitol Petroleum Group's 30-Day Fuel Logistics Implementation Key Lessons, sponsored by Titan Cloud. Capitol Petroleum Group, also known as CPG, is a fast-growing Mid-Atlantic fuel distributor and retailer that operates across 228 sites and continues to grow throughout strategic acquisitions. As the company scaled, logistical inefficiencies such as delayed deliveries and inaccurate inventory data, a pervasive industry challenge, led to the revenue losses and highlighted the urgent need for real-time visibility and improved management. Joining us today will be Titan Cloud's Jeff Sexton, Senior Enterprise Customer Success Manager, and Amanda Brock, Director of Implementation, and Capitol Petroleum Group's Chris DiCarlo, Director of Fuel Pricing and Transportation. They will share insights into CPG's rapid one-month implementation journey. From today's webcast, you will learn how real-time logistics and logistics visibility and automated workflows enable fuel retailers to take control, streamline delivery scheduling, and optimize operations more efficiently. Among the key points today will be real-time logistic insights that can help identify and reduce delivery inefficiencies, the role accurate, frequent inventory pulling plays in preventing fuel runouts, and how CPG navigated a swift rollout with Titan Cloud's best-in-class onboarding. So to kick off today's presentation, please welcome Jeff Sexton.
Thank you, Melissa. As Melissa indicated, today for the next half an hour, 45 minutes, we're going to talk about a 30-day implementation that Capitol Petroleum Group, or CPG, used to develop insights into their fuel inventory and also manage their delivery planning. Capitol initially came to Titan Cloud for compliance and risk reduction. Through a quick implementation, Capitol was able to gain control over costs and fuel operation around their compliance business practices. With that implementation being seamless, they were also able to immediately see fuel inventory, reducing runouts, and also improving carrier accountabilities as an offshoot of being able to implement all of their locations on the Titan Cloud platform immediately. Today, CPG uses Titan's forecast and insight to prioritize deliveries and determine exactly where and when fuel is actually needed. With real-time communication between carriers and CPG, this improves visibility, speeds up the process, and ensures accountability for optimizing cost management. With real-time communication between the gauges and Titan Cloud, CPG is able to on-demand monitor their inventory and also determine where and when deliveries actually are needed. So who is Titan Cloud? Some of you might know Titan Cloud, some of you might not, but Titan Cloud is a cloud-based software that manages risk and fuel profits with a unique fuel asset optimization. And what does that mean? In a couple of slides, I'll actually go into what does fuel asset optimization means. But our customers, as you can see, a snapshot of a couple of customers on the right hand of this slide, typically you'll see increased revenue, reduced costs, and stay in compliance with regulatory agencies by selecting Titan Cloud to help manage their fuel supply chain and also compliance needs. So Titan by the numbers. As a global market leader, Titan connects to over 85 sites across 33 countries and spanning over 800 different global customers. Those customers are any place from a single store operator to the world's largest enterprises. And those 800 customers, over 800 customers, actually chose Titan because of our end-to-end platform for fuel analytics, supply logistics, maintenance, and compliance. Additionally, Titan also provides a world-class customer success management team post-implementation that helps the customers along their way for the journey that they are trying to achieve, whether that is, in this case, with Capitol Petroleum Group, from the compliance to the delivery planning, or through one of our other modules, you would have a dedicated person that you will be able to maximize the benefit of the platform, but at the same time, also seeing value of the software and unlocking those enterprise value with the different data points that we're able to connect. So what is fuel asset optimization? If you look at the bottom of the layers here in the middle of the slide, you will see what we call a complex supply chain. And I think anybody in the industry will agree that the supply chain is extremely complex, whether that be from the terminals, the haulers, the tanks at the convenience stores, the dispensers, or the consumers. Just on the surface, that is complexity. Once you add all the data behind that, whether that is your contracts, your price points, bill ladings, deliveries, all these other different data points, just adds to the complexity. And how do we take all this data and make it sense to someone like Capitol that then they can realize the value and also drive efficiencies and increase profits? What we do is, we're connected to multiple different data sources, whether it's at the site, at the terminal, through driver apps, or through data feeds through different sources in the industries. We're bringing all of that data underneath one platform with integrated apps for the compliance, maintenance, supply, logistics, and fuel. And behind the scenes, then we're developing workflows that will go between each one of those different applications, which typically are managed by different departments inside of different types of companies, whether it's an internal stakeholder or an external stakeholder, bringing that data into one platform and letting those different stakeholders make the decisions that they need to make. So as we're talking through this, specifically, we're going to talk about the logistics challenges of delivery planning and demand planning that Capitol realized prior to selecting Titan Cloud to manage their delivery planning and inventory management. In general, across the industry, we see, variable demand patterns, whether that is we're coming into the summer months and, there's a lot of summer driving. So the demand on your C-stores actually increases. And how do you actually prepare for that and have a better forecasting model to, eliminating, runouts, whether the frequency or durations. I was actually traveling this past weekend and pulled into a retail location, and they were actually out of fuel. So, unfortunately, I had to go to one of their competitors and fuel up there, and ended up going into the store and purchasing items. So in that case, how do you limit those runouts, but you're also losing customers at the same time? And then the complexity of the supply chain arrangements. We understand in the supply chain, there are multiple different ways to purchase fuel, multiple different ways to manage fuel. But how do you bring that underneath one umbrella so you can actually manage all of that in one platform, making sure that you don't have runouts, you're not sending fuel to the wrong location, you're not sending the wrong fuel to the wrong location, and then also integrating with the various different data points externally, whether that happens to be a third-party carrier, third-party managed provider, or if you're doing everything in-house or anything in between. And then all those data points that you're trying to collect, whether it's bill of ladings, deliveries, the inventory, the price points, your allocation, there's just a lot of different data that historically has been siloed and not been in one platform that allows you or your counterparts to actually see and be able to effectively manage your inventory and planning going forward. So with that, I'm going to turn this over to Chris DiCarlo from Capitol and allow him to speak on their success with implementing Titan and how it has impacted their business.
All right, thank you, Jeff, and good afternoon, everybody. So I'd like to start by sharing a little bit about who we are at Capitol Petroleum Group. So we are one of the leading wholesale fuel distributors in the Mid-Atlantic region. Our journey began in 1987 with a single Amoco branded gas station. Since then, through strategic acquisitions and strong partnerships, we have grown to manage over 228 locations across DC, Maryland, Virginia, and New York. We're proud to work with major fuel suppliers, including ExxonMobil, Shell, Citgo, and 76. However, our role goes beyond fuel supply. We also support our independent operators with services like management training, accounting support, environmental oversight, station maintenance, and logistics coordination. And at the core of everything we do is our mission. That is to collaborate, innovate, respect, and serve. We're deeply committed to the communities we're operating in, whether it's through volunteering, charitable events, or securing brand-sponsored grants to give back. And next, let's take a look at why we made the switch to Titan. So as we continue to grow and support a larger network, we have faced several operational challenges. One major issue has been limited visibility into inventory and delivery status. Without real-time data, our team have struggled to track in-transit issues, resulting in reactive instead of proactive scheduling and management. This leads to inefficient load planning and increase the risk of runouts. On top of that, siloed data has made it difficult to align our operations. Sales trend, delivery schedules, and inventory levels have historically lived in separate systems, making coordination a constant challenge. To solve those issues, we have implemented a more intelligent and integrated solution, which is Titan Delivery Planning. By using real-time rolling demand forecasting, we can now project demand by hour and by hourly and 24 hours out, giving dispatchers the insight they need to prevent runouts before they happen. And also with the added benefit for a pricing team, we also have much better visibility into demand fluctuation. They can test and refine pricing strategy more effectively. And on the logistics side, we have interactive ETAs and load planning tools. These allow our teams and our haulers to see exactly when deliveries are scheduled, with color-coded alerts assess runout risks in real time. With seamless data integration, Titan brings together sales, delivery, and inventory data in one centralized platform, eliminating silos while improving cross-functional alignments. Manual processes minimized and operations flow more smoothly. And finally, the alert system keeps everyone on the same page. Automated alert notifications let dispatcher know when inventory is low or delivery is needed, giving us peace of mind and keeping our stations running efficiently. And next, a key part of this transformation is the supply delivery planning module, or what I call the delivery planning dashboard. It's designed to be flexible and user-friendly with customizable views for different team needs and planning scenarios. Users can quickly dive into any data sets for deeper insights like rolling sales trend and weekly forecasts without ever leaving the current view. Plus, you have the ability to open multiple tabs within delivery planning module, make multitasking easier and more efficient. That means no need to lose your place when you're reviewing multiple locations. And the key step in real-world impact, I'm going to give credit to the world-class Titan implementation team, because they did a fantastic job and most of the heavy lifting to get us off the ground and running quickly. Because we're already using Titan for maintenance and compliance, most of our site information is already there. So there's no additional hardware or integration. The Titan team has developed an intuitive template. Once we populate the necessary information, it's simple as flipping on a switch. Everything we needed, like delivery thresholds, alerts, is live from day one. And with all these upgrades, what are the benefits of all these upgrades? First, and strong visibility. Our team now have real-time access to tank status and delivery needs, which reduces manual coordination and uncertainty. And second, more accurate forecasting and fast. We were able to achieve meaningful forecasting within just 2 weeks of collecting data. And third, improved communications. Whether it's our internal teams or external haulers, everyone now works from the same information, reducing surprises and delays. And lastly, peace of mind. Automated alerts take the guesswork out of delivery scheduling, ensuring we respond quickly and confidently before issue arrives. So in summary, we have gone from reactive to proactive, from fragmented data to full integration, and from operational silos to team alignments. It's a transformation not only driving better performance, and is helping us deliver a more reliable and seamless experience to our customers. And next, I'm gonna hand it over to my friend Amanda to walk you through the rest of the slide.
Thank you, Chris. As Chris mentioned, there is a lot of value to being on a unified platform, as well as having a strong customer experience team to help take you through all of it as you're going through a new implementation. Titan's goal is to set our customers up for long-term success and growth. Our customer experience team helps achieve these goals, and our team consists of 3 groups that you can see here on the green that partner with your strategic account management, who is the one who helped you go through the purchasing process with Titan. So your whole customer journey, your strategic account management will be with you your whole entire time at Titan. Post contract signature, when you're going through your whole implementation, my team will work with you to configure your system to best fit your needs and to train your team on best practices. In partnership, we also have our customer success team, which has great people like Jeff Sexton, who spoke earlier on this call. And their goal through your journey is to help ensure that our customers see the value of our solutions and are using the system to the best of their ability, making sure that even post-implementation, you're getting all the value of the product that you could use. We also have, as you can see here, our support team. Our support team is available throughout the course of your customer journey to assist with any questions that might arise or any help that you may need with your system. So a combination between implementation, customer success, and support is really just a proven group of individuals and teams that are there to set you all up for success and growth, and also make sure that you are using the system to the best of your ability. As I mentioned, besides our best-in-class implementation team, there are many things that set Titan Cloud apart from other different softwares. The first one is you get end-to-end visibility. Our platform of tools, as we've mentioned, we have several different tools that can support and modules support all of your different needs, from fuel all the way through compliance and so on. They provide you better visibility through a unified network, one system to help tackle all of your needs. We also lower fuel and transport costs. With better tools at your disposal, we are able to help reduce FTE costs and help you save 25 to 75 basis points. We also reduce runouts. Optimizations of deliveries and the ability to forecast your needs to help reduce runouts and reduce freight costs, as you heard Chris mention previously. Reduction of runouts does have real world effects and can really help you in the long run. Titan Cloud also can help maximize truck efficiency. We have a state-of-the-art route optimization, and our new driver app improve efficiency, reduce cross drops, and allow for easier communication between dispatchers, drivers, and across the board. And finally, Titan Cloud, what sets us apart is we can help you improve your cash flow, increase productivity through automatically reconciling BOL and invoice data, and make sure that we're decreasing errors at the same time. Now I'm going to go ahead and pass it back to Melissa. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, everyone, for today's presentations. So we're going to begin the Q&A portion of our webinar today. So please remember to submit your questions using the Q&A feature on the left side of the screen. As always, if we run out of time before getting to your question, our presenter will get back to you privately with a response. So before we move on to the questions, we really want your feedback. So I would like to remind you that at the end, so please fill out the webinar evaluation survey that will automatically appear on your screen. You don't have to look for it. So now we're going to move on to the questions and answers. So one question, does Titan use artificial intelligence or AI? I don't know, Manta or Jeff?
Yeah, I'll take it, Amanda. You can jump in. So, Titan uses machine learning AI, not the typical AI currently, but we are using AI, and so it's a machine learning, looking at all the different data points and perfecting. The more data points we have, the better results you're going to get out of the system.
And I can just add on to that, we are also constantly improving our products and growing our product line. And we are investing in bringing AI and more machine learning throughout all of our different platforms.
Okay. Okay, and Chris, what did it actually take internally at Capitol Petroleum to get everyone aligned before rolling out Titan? Was there anything you would do differently?
Well, because we already been using a Titan for maintenance and compliance piece, and I haven't heard nothing but good things about the platform. And personally, I have used Titan delivery planning for a very long time. It addresses many pain points for our supply and logistics operation. So once we able to present those solutions to the team, and it was fairly easy to get everyone's buy-in. And also, again, we already been using the platform on maintenance and compliance, which make the transition much more easier.
Okay. And how soon after rolling out did you start to see real improvements, like fewer runouts, or better delivery timing?
Almost immediately. I would say within the first week, once I have trained my team and the dispatchers on how to update the delivery ETAs and how to look for problem areas. And we start to, proactively managing our logistics instead of sitting back and wait for the station to call us, notifying of the runouts. So the benefits are tremendous, immediate.
And Jeff, for companies working with multiple carriers and different site types, how flexible is the platform? How curious how it adapts to forcing a rigid setup without forcing a rigid setup.
Yeah, so the platform is extremely adaptable and flexible based off of each customer's needs, whether it is a customer that they are the hauler, or they have multiple haulers and or terminals they're pulling from. Additionally, whether they're Kodo or Dodo or different types of facilities, and then also what type of contract you have, whether it's a keep fill contract, whether it was an on-demand, spot buying. All of those are flexible, and I'm just hitting on a few, but you're not rigid to one type of scenario or one type of hauler or one type of terminal. It is very customizable to each client's business practices.
And someone wants to know, is there a typical cost for a Titan's platform, or is it something that you would prefer to discuss offline with them, which is fine?
Yeah, that would be they can reach out through the contact on here and somebody can follow up with them.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. So Amanda, what do you think really helped the rollout go so smoothly? I mean, it seemed to be such a quick rollout.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to getting the buy-in and all the teams aligned.
Well, I mean, Chris did a great job with his team. In general, our rollouts for our implementation go very well because our experienced implementation managers work directly with your team's subject matter experts. We ensure that, we truly understand a business's needs. And then we use that information to work with our customers to set up their environment to meet those needs. And we do it through weekly meetings, communication with the team members every step of the way. So it's all about communication and making sure that we understand our customers' needs.
And have you seen anything that can really trip some companies up early on in the process?
Yes, I generally see customers trip up earlier on in the process. When it comes to the change management portion, part of implementing a new software or a new module, does mean changes for our end users. And it really needs to be from the very beginning, and my team is great with this, is understanding, with the customers, how we can not only meet their current needs, so help solve the current problem, but how can we offer best business practices on how we can also improve those processes at the same time as well. So understanding that mindset change, that yes, this is new, but there's ways that we can help you and help grow, is something that if we can get on top of that early, we can help prevent and help the customer work through.
And it has seemed that, when it comes to technology, the convenience and fuel space has lagged a little bit, but I think that has changed, especially after the past 5 years. Everyone still wants to point to COVID for accelerating, but it's true. You had no choice but to kind of be on top of things when your business is in jeopardy. And I would think that it also, most importantly, you have to know what your problems are before you can go figure out how to solve them.
Absolutely, Melissa, and I'll expand on that. That's part of, Chris mentioned that we were already, working with our compliance and maintenance. So we had knowledge of Capital's problems that they were trying to face through past conversations we had. But that is exactly, you're right. You can't solve a problem if you don't know what the problem is. And so during our process of discovery and working through what those business problems are that you're trying to solve, because our platform is very broad and we have a lot of different features, but being able to pinpoint what we're trying to solve going through that process is setting each the customer and also Titan up for success.
Jeff, the convenience store industry is, 2/3 of the industry is mostly independent operators or smaller chains, right? Not everyone's the 10,000 stores or 2,000 stores. So could this be a little overwhelming for a single store operator or a smaller chain who may not have the multiple teams to work within their organization? Or does this work well across all sizes?
It works well across all sizes. And I would actually say the smaller, close-knit teams, they can implement faster because they do work internally together at their company, where you get into some of those larger enterprise companies that you mentioned, 10,000 sites. They have a lot of other competing priorities. They're trying to launch a product or change this or change that. So it does work across the board, but everyone is a little different of how it works. And to Amanda's point, getting the whole team on the same page during the implementation and also through the discovery process prior to implementation is extremely key. Without that, there is no success on no matter what size customer is using a platform like Titan.
Right. So I guess no matter how many layers you have, it's the ability to kind of get through those layers in a quick and efficient manner.
Absolutely. Yes. And that's, I think from our numbers and our history with Titan, of the number of sites we've connected and the customers and the countries we've connected through, our success is shown in that. And then customers like Capitol, with Chris being a champion for us to launch another module inside of his company.
Okay. Great. Well, I think we're going to wrap up now. We don't have right now any other questions coming in, But of course, you are more than welcome to submit questions to me directly, and I can pass them along to Titan, or you can submit them through the email that was on the previous slide. And I'm reachable or available at mcress@ensembleiq.com. So I do want to thank everyone for attending today's webcast. And at the end of the event, all attendees will receive Titan Cloud's Navigating the Fuel Lifestyle Supply Chain Logistics ebook as a thank you for your time today. So I also want to thank Titan Cloud's Jeff Sexton and Amanda Brock and Capitol Petroleum Group's Chris DiCarlo for sharing CPG's journey with us. So have a great day, everybody.